Hey, what's up horror fans? MC Dead here with another video. In this video today I thought we'd head out to JB Hi-Fi at Jepp's Cross. That's actually a location I haven't been before. Pretty big location, so I'm hoping to find a few different horror things in there. I think there's a few titles coming out this month, new release wise, I'm not sure what. But yeah, hopefully it's not too busy. It's Friday afternoon, so might be a few people with RDOs, days off, like me. So yeah, we'll head out there and see what we can find. So just doing the audio later because there's a lot of copyrighted music in JB as per usual. Here's Firestarter. Now this one I heard really bad things about. I might check it out at some time, but I'm definitely not interested in buying it. I'll probably download it. Fear Farm, I remember seeing that ages ago. It was like a really low budget movie. I think I watched about half an hour of it and I was like, nah, not for me. Escape Room, I still haven't seen this. If anyone's seen it, let me know in the comments below what you thought of it, because I am interested in checking it out. This is another interesting one, certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Looks like a vampire movie. Just having more of a look here. It's a lot of the same sort of common stuff. Just having a look through here. Always check out the prices on these new Halloween films, because just having a bit more of a look here in the JB Jepp's Cross horror section. The Long Night, I've heard a lot about this. I am interested in checking it out at some point. I've heard it's a pretty good film. Don't know anything about it. I think it's more of a B grade, but yeah, interested in looking at that. This Resident Evil pack is pretty cool. All the Resident Evil movies on 4K for $60. I might pick that up at some point, I think. It's a really good deal. I did like the Resident Evil movies. I haven't seen them all either. Room 203, it's another new one, never heard of it. Bit more of a indie movie. Just having a look at this one now. Martyrs, another one from Beyond Genres line from Umbrella Entertainment. I remember it being an excellent movie. Haven't seen it in ages, can't remember anything about it, but I must pick it up at some point. I'm pretty sure it's a French film. So just in the R-rated section now, having a quick look. This is an awesome movie, Us. Jordan Peele's best movie by far. Such a strange fucking movie this was. Really hard to explain, but if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. I might pick that up. And this one I haven't seen for years either, Event Horizon. Can't even actually remember, much about this at all. But for $9.98, that's a great deal. And I just saw this on video on demand, actually. Ethan Hawke's new horror film, Black Phone, from Blumhouse. It was a really cool movie, written by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. If you haven't seen it, worth checking out. I think I'll add it to the collection at some point. Yep, so there was definitely a couple of little hidden gems in there that I was happy to get. There's a promo going at the moment, so I got a few bucks off. I'll be showing you what I got in the reviews. Yeah, so the first one I picked up, guys, was this one here, Event Horizon. It's from Paramount. Came out in 1997, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. It stars Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, Kathleen Quinlan. Really hard movie to explain, this one. It's basically about a spacecraft that vanishes and the crew picks up on a signal 7 years later. And it turns out that they've gone into like a black hole and like a time loop. So when the ship comes back, all the crew on board the ship are dead. All these things start going wrong, and it just turns into a big mess. And it's basically Sam Neill as the scientist and Lawrence Fishburne, really hard to explain. They're going out and discovering what's actually happened to this ship, what's going on, and what they can do to fix it. It's opened up a rip in the universe, and all this weird shit starts happening. It's a really fucking cool movie. Like, I couldn't remember anything about this. Couldn't remember seeing it. And it was just really well done. Like, really great acting in this. Really great cinematography in this. Yeah, I just thought it was a really cool, strange movie. Very cult these days, you know. It's taken on a real cult following. I don't think it did really well at the box office, but just an enjoyable ride from start to finish. But yeah, I think it takes more than one viewing to get your head around it. But a whole heap of stuff on here. There's a commentary by director Paul W.S. Anderson and producer Jeremy Bolt. There's a making of Event Horizon documentaries. The Point of No Return, the filming of Event Horizon with director commentary. Secrets with selectable director commentary. The Unseen Event Horizon with director commentary. Theatrical trailer and video trailer on this one. But it's definitely worth checking out. I'd recommend it, and brand new and sealed for $7.98. I couldn't go wrong. And this is another really cool one I got from JB as well, and of course it's the 2019 movie from Universal, directed by Jordan Peele, Us. Fucking strangest movie I reckon I've ever seen, but an awesome, awesome movie from 2019. I remember seeing it, and I've been wanting to get it for ages. And this stars Lupita Nyong'o, hope I've pronounced that right, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, and Tim Heidecker. It takes me back to the Twilight Zone. It really does take me back to like those old school, strange sci-fi horror type Twilight Zone episodes. I really enjoyed it. Of course, you know, Jordan Peele went on to do his own series, The Twilight Zone, as well, and this is definitely a story like that. And again, it's a hard one to explain. It's basically about a family that goes on holiday, and the woman in the family, played by Lupita Nyong'o, has been there before as a child and experienced a traumatic event in this location. It's kind of like a boardwalk, carnival type holiday destination that they go to. And anyway, when they get there, all these strange things start happening, and they discover that these people come to knock at their door, and they're actually doppelgangers of these people. So they look and they look exactly like them, but they're dressed really fucking weird, like they're wearing like these weird red jumpsuits, and they just start terrorizing them. It was just such a fucking well done movie. I love this movie so much, and it just goes from there. It just gets crazier and crazier, full on gore. Like, Jordan Peele was redefined the horror genre in my opinion. Like, as a black director and using like mostly black actors in his films, I just think he's just a champion for black horror. And there's actually a documentary about black horror that I think Shudder produced that I'm really interested in seeing, because if you look at black directors, I mean, especially in horror, Jordan Peele would be up there as like the greatest of all time, I think. But yeah, anyway, heaps of special features on it. The Monster Within Us and Tethered Together, Making Us twice. Redefining a genre, Jordan Peele's brand of horror. The Duality of Us, Becoming Red Scene Explorations, Deleted Scenes, We're All Dying, As Above, So Below, and Grandpa's de Dieu, if I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, awesome one. Pick it up, check it out. And here we have an absolutely brilliant fucking game, if I've got to say so myself, from 2019, and it's Mortal Kombat 11. And this is the definitive edition of the game. I got this brand new and sealed, probably for about the going rate at the moment. It's gone down to about 40, 44 bucks. Brand new and sealed, you'd probably be paying a bit more than that generally, but yeah, I did well with this. Can't tell you too much about the story. I haven't played Mortal Kombat X, I think it was before this, and the one before that, so I'm not up to date with the story and everything. But yeah, same brutal game it always was. Like, all the fatalities are in there. Absolutely amazing, like, characters included in this from other franchises, like John Rambo's in this, the T-800, like Arnie from Terminator's in this, RoboCop, The Joker from Batman's in this, all as playable characters. Huge immersive game. The combos are absolutely incredible to get down. Like, I wish I was 30 years younger and 30 years faster than what I was when this first came out in 1992. Because like X square, triangle, triangle, left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down. It just all gets to be a bit too much. But thank fuck that in this, they've got a training mode. So you can learn all the combos, you can learn all the fatalities, you can do all of that. Plenty of stuff on YouTube to look up on this game. Highly recommended game. I just borrowed it from the library to try it out. And I thought, you know, if I can keep up, I can keep up. If not, then so be it. But yeah, loved it enough that I actually went out and bought it. And it's still sealed in the packaging. I haven't got around to getting back to it yet because I just got so much to play. But yeah, can't speak highly enough about this game. And Mortal Kombat 12's on its way. And from Universal, of course, we got the highly contentious fucking Halloween remakes. 2018 was the first one. 2020 was Halloween Kills, directed by David Gordon Green. Now, the deal with these remakes, if you haven't seen them, is they're not connected to any other movies. So if you've seen the original Halloween movies, they're only connected to the first film. None of the sequels are actually connected in any way to these movies. Look, I enjoyed them for what they were. You couldn't have got a better company than Blumhouse to produce them. You know, there was a lot of money spent on them. They got Carpenter involved again. These are put out by Universal. Done a fantastic job on the transfers. I wish I'd got them on 4K, but they were going out for a really good price at Sanity, believe it or not. I've actually started getting a few things from Sanity because in a lot of ways they're actually cheaper than JB, believe it or not. So I would recommend Sanity for the simple fact that if it's older films, they have a lot of deals, they have a lot of specials. But yeah, getting back to the movie, I don't really need to say too much about it. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back for it. There's a whole heap of other actors. I'm not going to read through all of that. I just can't be bothered. There's a lot of people in it. A lot of them are unknowns. But yeah, basically it carries on from the first film. Michael Myers has been put away in a mental asylum. He gets out. 40 years later, he comes after Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis's character. And it just goes from there. Super, super gory. Super, super gory. Halloween Ends, I've got to say, was absolutely horrible. I think I said in my last video that my brother watched it and he was like, dude, don't even bother. And then I watched it just after Halloween. Because I was going to watch it Halloween night, but I watched it just after Halloween and I was like, fuck man, I'm glad I didn't watch it. It would have spoiled my Halloween totally. But yeah, it didn't finish well. The first one was the best of the trilogy. Halloween Kills was really good for the gore factor. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff on here. Halloween Kills has got 2 versions of the movie, theatrical and extended. It's got a gag reel on it, deleted and extended scenes, the kill team, Strode family values, 1978 transformations, kill count, feature commentary with director co-writer David Gordon Green, and stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Judy Greer. Yeah, I had a look at the special features. They were pretty good. And Halloween's got Back in Haddonfield Making Halloween, the original Scream Queen, The Sound of Fear, Journey of the Mask, The Legacy of Halloween. They're worth getting. I'm not going to encourage you to watch the last movie, but to tie up the story, you need to probably see it. The last 15 minutes of it was good, the rest of it was garbage, but being the completist I am, I'll probably pick it up. But yeah, these 2 were definitely worth getting. Want my weirdest pick of the year for horror films? It's got to be Alex Garland's Men. Wow, what a strange movie. So hard to explain. Like, this has got to be the month of like hard to explain movies because I think nearly every movie I'm reviewing, they're fucking hard to explain, and this is no exception. This stars Jessie Buckley and Rory Kinnear. It's from Lionsgate. It's basically the easiest way I can describe it. Is a woman leaves a marriage, you know, she's in a really fucking needy, shitty marriage. and her partner ends up committing suicide. So she goes on like a retreat into the countryside in England. It's a British movie. And when she gets there, Rory Kinnear, who actually does an amazing job in this movie. He actually plays all the male characters in this movie. So it's very well done in the way it's photographed. Like it cuts, like there's a scene in the bar where she's talking to all these dudes and they're all the same guy. But yeah, it's just she goes away and she's getting haunted by all these different men. Like they're harassing her, and this naked dude turns up to the house where she's staying and he home invades her, and then she meets this vicar at a church and he's really strange. He's asking her really strange questions. And then it just goes on from there and gets weirder and weirder and weirder. It's a classic body horror movie, like the transformation scene at the end of this movie, which I'm not going to say anything about, is well worth the journey just for that alone. Like, it's just crazy. It takes me back to a lot of the stuff that Cronenberg's done, but just a really, really cool movie. Like, it wins my pick of the year. It was my favourite horror movie of the year, by far. I just think it was a really original, well done piece, so I'd encourage you to check out Men. So yeah, really lucky to pick up a 4K player recently. I talked about that in my last video, that I was interested in delving into 4K. I showed you the review that I had on Poltergeist. We went through that. I watched the Blu-ray, and it was really, really, really good. The Blu-ray had the same 4K rip, but it's not the same as watching the 4K on a 4K player. So yeah, Dad was nice enough to get me a 4K player for my birthday. So I've now been able to experience 4K, and I can tell you it's amazing. The sound's amazing, the picture's absolutely amazing. Some things don't work so well. I've found certain movies. Dad was saying that he saw the Star Wars trilogy on 4K and it just didn't work. For some reason, there was something about it. It might be to do with how old the films are now, the grain, but he just said the picture was really dark. It didn't really work, but yeah, so far from what I've seen, 4K is absolutely amazing. Bar Donnie Darko, which I'm going to talk about in my next video, that's a bit dark. Pardon the pun. I just found the picture was quite weird, so I may have to, you know, fuck around with the settings. But in saying that, I picked up this, and this was absolutely amazing on 4K, and this is the 1987 classic from Roadshow. It's the 35th anniversary of this film this year. I can't believe it. I still remember seeing it like it was yesterday. Directed by Joel Schumacher. Absolute stellar cast in it. Robert Patrick, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland, Jamie Gertz, Diane West. Everybody's in it. Absolute masterpiece of a vampire horror comedy movie. There's never been another movie like it. The mullets, the gore, the acting's really cool in it. It's got a cheesy quality about it as well that I love, like those cheesy EC comic qualities. Can't speak highly enough of this movie. Basic story, Sam and his older brother Michael moved to Santa Cruz, California, and yeah, there's a high murder capital there, and you know, they get there and they start seeing all these, you know, missing persons signs and stuff put up on stogie poles, and you know, Michael ends up meeting this group of dudes, and unbeknownst to him, they're vampires, and it just goes from there. He falls in with the crew, drinks some blood, like hangs out with them, and next thing you know, like he's becoming one of them, and it just goes from there. I'm not really going to spoil it because everybody's seen this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you really need to see this movie quickly. Absolutely amazing in 4K. It had a great soundtrack as well. Awesome 80s soundtrack, which is, you know, I grew up as a kid in the 80s, so it's just totally my era. But I just enjoyed going back to this so much. Like, I hadn't seen it in many, many years. But yeah, it comes with a 4K and comes with a Blu-ray. So even if you haven't got a 4K player yet, you can go out and get it. You'll get the Blu-ray. It's got a commentary, heaps of special features. They're on the Blu-ray disc. Commentary by director Joel Schumacher. Additional scenes, The Lost Boys, a retrospective documentary, The Return of Sam and the Frog Brothers, The Two Coreys and Jamison Newlander, multi-angle video commentary, vamping out the undead creations of Greg Cannon inside the vampire's cave, 4 featurettes, on and on and on. I'm not going to bang on about it, but yeah, my absolute pick of the month. I just paid the going rate for it. I think it was $30, so really happy with it, and awesome introduction to 4K Blu-ray. So thanks for tuning in again, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing and your continued support this year. The channel's grown quite a bit. I feel like the videos are getting better. The more and more I do them, the more and more confident and easier I get with them. But this one took a little bit of time to put together, just because of life stuff. I've had a lot going on with work, and I'm doing TAFE as well at the moment. So just took a while to put this one together. But I'll be back probably at the end of next week, just before New Year's, to show you my birthday Christmas pickups. I just had my birthday, so got a couple of nice gifts from people in the family and what have you, so I'm going to share that with you. But yeah, really appreciate your support. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in about a week. Take care. Bye.